What's up? Today is the 6th of May. I have no idea. I don't know what I did today. I don't even remember, bro. I did just get to working out. Dude, in like 2 weeks, my body's changed completely. Like, it's fire. I knew it would. I know who I am. I've watched myself my whole life. I know what I can do. And, anything's possible. Now I'm just ready for other people to understand that anything is possible. Like, humans, the freaking monsters, man. Like, the fire, the infinite possibilities. Like, I love them so much. And like I said, a lot of this talk is like, I've always had an issue with looking at myself. And so what I'm doing is literally tricking myself. And because I know how I'm programmed, and I'm programmed to not look at myself. Every inch of my body is programmed to always look and help other people first. It's a coping mechanism. Like, it literally is. Like, I get it. And I understand that I'm wired so hard and stubborn that I don't want to waste the time trying to break that habit. I may try and do it later, but I need to change stuff now. Therefore, I mean, I'm doing it, I guess, with working out, because that's for me. But it's not. It's not, because I'm wording everything for my future wife and kids. So, like, I'm doing what I'm doing now to better myself, but ultimately it's because I'm using my past to push me forward. I'm using my past mistakes, my past lessons, and I'm using them for strength. I'm using them for determination, and I'm using them to be the opposite of, to rebel against. Rebel against what I've seen, what I've done, what I've felt, what I don't want to be for somebody else, for my kids. I don't want my kid to become callous like I was. And I don't want my kid to not accept love like I did. I don't want my kid to not trust me like I didn't trust my mother or dad, and or anyone at that matter. There's a few people in this world that I trust pretty good when it comes to me and them dealing with each other. There's only a few, a slight few. Probably I could count them on one hand. And it's not good or bad. I'm getting more and more. I'm adding more and more people because, number one, I'm understanding that it's a waste of energy for me to have expectations on humans. Because humans are going to fail. Humans are going to make wrong decisions, in my perspective, even though whatever decision they make, in their eyes, is right. Because every decision we make is based on all the information up until that point. And so we choose the right decision. The repercussions are real, and the other person may view it as wrong. But whoever made that decision, it was right for them in their perspective. I can't judge that. I may not like it. But what's the point of me getting pissed off or mad about? Nothing. It's a waste of my energy. It's a waste. And then I give them that act or whatever decision power over me. That's a waste. It's stupid. I can't control it. I don't want to control it. I would like it to happen this way, but sometimes it's not gonna. So just accept it, and being the human that I am, I understand that it is what it is. Shit happens sometimes, and this is for entertainment purposes only. And just roll with the punches. I like getting punched. Like, it's fine. I like it. I'm weird. Kinda. I kinda like getting punched. It's funny. I was talking to a guy. I did get my hair cut today because I needed it. Um, I was talking to some girl and I was like, man, the other night this girl kept like rubbing my face and slapping me in the face, but not hard, but just weird. It was weird, and it was kind of borderline starting to trigger the piss out of me. And kind of, but not really, because I was aware enough to understand that number one, it's just her way of actually trying to control the situation with me and trying to control me. I saw that. Is a way of her giving me affection and showing me that she was interested and also being vulnerable with me, and giving me her intent. I mean, it's a lot of things. But I did, a lot of it was she was just trying to dominate me. And like I said, I'm always in control. Now, for the most part. There's some things that kind of control me, but if I could allow it, stuff like that to control me, and I told her, I said, dude, I let people do things. I don't know why. I really don't. I don't know why I just let people do things because it doesn't bother me, and I'm super patient. And I told her, I was like, you're just trying to trigger me, aren't you, girl? And she just kept doing it. But I just let her. I mean, I could have stopped it, but I didn't. Mostly because it was a learning lesson for me. And I was just trying to catalog all this stuff and why she was doing it and why I'm allowing her to do it and if I should stop it or not stop it. It's a lot. And I'm still going to decipher that over the next couple of days. Because it kind of flashed me back to my mom would slap me when I would say something smart or whatever because she would get passionate, you know what I'm saying? And so it kind of triggers me. So I really don't like getting touched in the face, for the most part, because it kind of, and I've talked to a lot of people that's been hit in the face by their parents or something, and it triggers them, and it makes you feel like a child, right? And makes you feel almost like you deserve to be slapped, like you did something wrong. It's a weird guilt thing. At least for me, like I've always had a guilty conscience, and like I said, I credit that to, and people won't understand it, that I owe my mother everything because she saved me, right? And it's the wrong way to look at it. I need to figure out a way to reshape it and help adopted kids not have that thought ingrained in them. And I don't know where it came from because my mom's never said that. She never said like you should be grateful that, but people have, oh, you're so lucky that you're in America, and like your whole life as a adopted kid, like people always say that, like you're so lucky. So then I guess you build this story of like, yeah, I mean, I know I am lucky, but when you're a little kid, you're almost like you're not worthy of this because people keep telling you that you're lucky. That's so, and to me, in my head, then it means that somebody sacrificed something for me, and that I don't know, like that I don't know, and they did. That's what I'm saying. Everything on that forefront, it causes you to be double-sided, because you see the truth, you understand. Even as a child, you understand. Like, wait a minute, this makes zero sense. Like, it was free will. She freely adopted me, right? So there shouldn't be guilt. I shouldn't be guilty, but I am. And so it always splits me. It always split me. Because I saw one side of my brain brought this idea up and the other side of my brain brought this idea up. And neither was real or true, right? Because I could never decipher which one was real or true because my feelings told me one thing and my logic told me something else. And man, these turkeys are crazy. They look like velociraptors in my field. And but yeah, so I'm just not thinking about that. So like that's a lot of maybe where my double-minded came from and my self-worth issues came from, because I had a guilty conscience and I thought like, so now, what is my worth? Like, what is my worth tied to? Because someone sacrificed a lot so I could live and be happy right here in America. And I watched it with my eyes. I watched my mom have to work all the time to provide for us, the 4 kids, by herself with no help. And it's like, so what is my worth? You know? And I do remember, like in my head, like I said, man, I've always, when I growing up, I was like, man, life would be so much easier for my brothers and sisters if I wasn't here, because it'd be one less mouth to feed, one less all this stuff. And I don't know where that come from. That's just a weird idea that you come up with as a kid. And it's not good or bad. It's wrong, and it caused a lot of unhealthy perspectives. But even then, like no matter what anybody said about those situations, it wouldn't have changed anything. Because what needs to happen is you have to be seen that you're not a problem. You have to feel that someone's not struggling because they saved you. And we wasn't in a position for me to see and feel that. Because that's how I learned. That's how I shaped my world. Was by what people did, not what people said. And, and science proves that, up until 7 years old, that's how children learn. They learn by what they see, not by what they do. And I think that I was kind of at the age of a split that I continued to live in that 7-year-old brain. And it's not good or bad, but I think Little Hoss, when he created new worlds, it stunted my growth and mentally. And I thought, I can't trust anyone, right? I can't trust what they say. Therefore, I need to continue to watch what people do. And really not care about what they say. And if those things don't match, then I know that that's a human. Like, I know not to trust that human being, right? And so that's how I learned my whole life, is just by watching actions instead of listening to the words. And kind of why, it was fire when I saw those people doing sign language the other day. It clicked, and it's clicking. Why it clicked right now. But that's why I'm so engulfed with it. So I talked to a dude yesterday about it, and he's like, "This is the first time you've ever seen people doing sign language." I said, "No, it's not." I said, "But with this new perspective on life, it's the first time I've seen it." And he's like, "Yeah, it's fire. It's crazy." I'm like, "Yeah, dude." I was like, and maybe, just maybe, it's harder for them to lie. Dang near almost impossible. Because humans, we use our mouths to create stories and evoke emotions. But we also use our body language too, right? The way we move our hands, arms, neck, eyes. But when you're doing sign language, you're having to use all those things to convey the story, spell stuff out, and you're getting, I don't even know. But it's harder to lie. I would assume. You know what assuming does. But to me, I don't know, I need to study it. I've always wanted to learn sign language. I thought it was cool. Not that people are deaf, but it's a cool way to communicate. And then I could communicate with more human beings, right? Which brings up a story. I remember this was a long time ago. I went to church with my grandmother one night at Bordeaux, Seventh-day Adventist church, and there was a boy who couldn't speak well. He was kind of mute. I don't know. I think he was doing sign language, and it, back then, it had so much empathy. but it's stuck in my head that I need to be able to cater to all humans. Man, I guess I need to learn languages too. I'm not happy about this. I don't have enough time. Dude, I need someone to help me delegate some time, bro. I can't be working all the time. Like, I gotta figure this out to make money without, and so I can delegate time to learning sign language and languages so I can speak to everyone in the freaking world. How many languages are there? I don't know, man. We got Google Translate, so we can. But I do want to learn sign language. That is a language I want to learn. Um, that is a language I want to learn. I don't know, but whatever. So yeah, but it was yeah. It looks like it seems like it's harder to lie because they're using actions, they're using the whole body to tell a story, and it's not being misstrued with words, um, and dialect, and it's just equal. It's the same, right? I guess there could be little versions of it, and being taught differently, but and a little sassy or whatever. I always say sassy because like I saw this dude's reflection and he was like this, dude. It was funny to me, man. It was I borderline. I don't know what the definition of flamboyant is, but more just because I don't look at things feminine anymore. Like I don't even care about none of that stuff. Like whatever, who cares? That means nothing. Um, but just more action, like just more like umph and passion in it when he was talking with his hands. Like, dude, it was fire. It's so fire. Like I love that dude, man. That dude's fire. He'd probably be cussing me out in sign language. I'd be like, dude, you're fire, bro. That dude's fire. But I don't know. But yeah, so I don't know. But I think it's harder to lie. I would assume. I mean, I'd say I don't know. Makes sense to me. But I don't know. Today was cool. I just loved it. I love the world. I talked last night. I haven't posted it yet. I'm gonna post it. I'm running out of paintings to put on my post, so I need to start painting again. I haven't painted in a couple of days. Um, so I'm just trying to eat, be healthy, and work out, and then get my talks in. And painting's kind of like on the back burner. Because lately I've just been getting home so late. It's been 11 o'clock, and I need to make sure I get sleep so my body can reheal itself, and grow. Because, dude, I've been growing so much. I looked at myself in the mirror the other day. I was like, man, Cody, you ain't no liar, son. You said you were going to do it, and you did it. And you're doing it. It's cool. It's cool to be proud, man. It's super fire. I don't know how or why I went my whole life not being proud of myself. And I get it. Um, but I'm super proud. For once. Again. Dude, I don't know why it brings so much emotion. I think when I talk about being proud, I just get... It's almost... it brings up a feeling of... I guess you could say regret. For what I did to myself, as abandoning my child self, and but just abandoning me in general, and not giving myself love, like, and that's what's crazy. Is like a lot of I understand what I'm doing may seem selfish, and borderline it does seem selfish to me too. But me looking at myself, but like I said, like I started this out, like I'm literally tricking myself. I'm ultimately doing stuff for other people, but it makes me do stuff for myself. So I can do both two things at once. So I'm a multitasker, right? I'm learning stuff so I can help other people. I'm taking time to learn myself so I can be an example for other people. I'm getting healthy so I can be there for my kids and wife in the future and be healthy and not abandon them or leave early because of something stupid that I did and neglected my vessel. Um, so everything is a trick. Everything I'm doing is tricking myself and programming myself, not listening to the news. Not I did go see a movie last night, and it was kind of, what's up, bird? What's up, dude? What you doing? And bird right here by my foot, fire. But I limit what I watch. I limit who I give my power to and subconscious to. Um, and like I said, I'm literally programming myself with myself. Like, well, I think all of us should do that, man. Um, because like once you start looking at yourself, you don't want to harm yourself. Like, so you have good intentions. Like you're trying to be the best you, and you understand that like your escapes aren't very good for you a lot of times. Whether it's alcohol, whether it's sex addictions, whether it's food addictions, TV, even music. I don't listen to much music as I used to. Just anything. And so I'm understanding like if everything that I do, I deem it right. And I have parameters set where I don't infringe in somebody else's free will. I don't overstep my boundaries with people. I friend zone people for specific reasons, but I can still be friends and we can hang out, whatever. I set firm boundaries with things like, then I can't be wrong. I mean, I can't be wrong. But at least if I am wrong, maybe I'm not harming somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if I am wrong, there's minimal damage, if not none, to other people. And then I have to buck up and deal with the damage that I've done to myself. Like I said, all I want to do is the best for other people. Like, I want the best out of them. Because ultimately, people are my mirror. And, so I want them to look at me, and I want to be the best version of me for them. I want them to look at me as a mirror and see what, yeah, it takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of, I'm not working, a lot of managing money and then choosing what you want to spend your money on a little bit better and having less than before. At least right now in this season, because I had to sacrifice something to fix my mental health. And yeah, it makes you feel lazy. But then I just keep checking myself like, dude, I'm actually proud of myself though. And it's good that I was never proud of really me building anything, because it helps me now when I am proud of something. It helps me understand that I'm still doing okay. Like, at least I'm proud of my mental health now, and I'm proud of loving myself and giving myself time and just literally just doing what I have to do to survive in the moment. But ultimately, like, my mental health and my physical health is the most important thing. And when I get back into really hitting the work, like, then, like, what I've done will pay off forever. And then I just have to maintain it. Like, so I don't have to work as hard on my mental health and on my physical health, and I could just maintain it, you know? Like, go from 2 days to one day, once a day, working out. And I'm getting close, like, I'm getting my body up close to where I want it, and then I can just, whatever, just maintain. A lot easier. But it takes a little bit of sacrifice up front, and determination. It's so fun. It's so cool, and I don't even know what's gonna happen today. Like tonight, I really just want to go sleep. But I want to paint tonight too. I really do. It's been a while. I have a 48 by 60 canvas. I want to paint something fire. I just don't know what I want yet. We'll just let it go. We'll just go. What's up, birds? These birds are fire. They're all over me, all over my truck. And I don't know. I'm excited, and super excited. Today was cool. I'm trying to think conversations we had. Everyone talk about this Johnny Depp thing. It's funny to me. It's hilarious. I haven't spent my time on it. I don't want to give my time to it too much. Other than crazy women turn me on for some weird reason. But then again, it's a bad. It's the way I live my world of extremes. We're like, I'm attracted to the chaos, and I know overall it's bad for me. Sometimes when it seems like it's as extreme as that is, with people doing some really craziness. But I see both sides, and I see like maybe both of them are into some weird stuff, and I would just assume that they are. Whatever, but who knows? I could be wrong. Maybe they're all upstanding. One of them's upstanding citizen. Who knows? I don't know. I doubt it. I bet they're into some weird stuff, bro. Because humans always push the limits, and yeah, that was the thing we talked about today. Talked about I know I don't. I talk about things that I want to do sometimes, but I won't do them for the simple fact that if I do it, the chances of me going 100% on it and going ham and maybe getting addicted to something or a substance or because I would like the feeling that it gives me, so I try and stay away from stuff like that I think would ultimately lead me down a dark road. I can see the results, and I have to be humble enough to understand that, you know what, I could lose control. I could like it so much that I don't want to go back. And then I just get carried away and whatever. So yeah, me and someone talked about that today, and yeah, and I told her, I was like, man, yeah, I know who you are, and I know who I am, and we're kind of the same human beings, and I said we got to be careful because sometimes you dip your toe in and then you're jumping in and you're going, you're wet, like it's gonna take a long time to dry off, and before you know it, like something happens. So like I try and live within my boundaries so I don't dip my toe into something and then go head first diving in, because it felt so good. Like it was a hot summer day and I dipped my toe in there, it feels good. I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to go all in. It's cool. The bank's right here. Next thing I know, I go in and I'm out in the middle of the ocean. And out of control, getting carried away by the tide or whatever. So that's the whole point. Because a lot of times, like, you're in so deep, you get in so deep in something, you it's not worth you even, like, you don't have the energy to get back, and it's difficult. And you start swimming back, but then you look back because you enjoyed it so much. Like, you look back and then you get taken away again, and so really, it's just like whatever you do, you just gotta look forward and go, and deal with the repercussions, bro. So that's why a lot of times I don't do a lot of things. I just talk about them because I know if I did do them, I wouldn't come back. So I'm super careful with me, and I've made my life a certain way for a lot of those reasons. I know that, like, once once I start something, it's gonna be hard to stop it. So I program my way of life a certain way, so I don't. A lot of times I just don't do stuff ever, and I may never do it. Um, it's not worth that chance, at least for me. But whatever, to each his own. Like you can test yourself if you want, but I'm just trying to be humble enough to know that some stuff, if I test it, man, I'm gone. I won't have the willpower to stop, and I don't want to take that battle. I don't want to chance it. And I think it's it. Like you got to know your limits, and because you know yourself. You know yourself if you can, if you're capable of playing with fire and not getting burnt. Like you know. And so every day, like I said, every day I have to check myself with a lot of things like that. Um, or like I know I could be playing with fire, but I got at some point, who knows? But I like fire. I like the heat. I don't mind getting burnt, but sometimes it's not worth that. But this world's cool, man, and people are cool. People are fire. It's cool. Like I went to the art place today. I had to go pick up some money from them and the art museum, and I just love talking to them because number one, I know nothing about art, and two, a lot of the stuff I talk about is this stuff, right? Like I'm trying to continue to get wealth of knowledge from these people that are older than me or that have different perspective. Like you don't even have to be older than me. I just want to know your perspective. Like to me, that's wealth, and that's it's literal wealth because I need it. I need your perspectives, and I told her today, I was like, I need your perspectives. I need everyone's perspective on things because I understand that my perspective is wrong, and it's or not wrong, but it could be wrong. Um, but it's only my perspective. I need all perspectives, and then I can take all those perspectives together and find out what I think is true for me. But I need that information, and I have to, like I said, I have to be humble enough to say my perspective is wrong, and sure, hers makes sense. Hers is right. I see it now. Or some of hers and mine together makes this sounds even better. Like this is cool. Best of both worlds. Like the pros from both of us. Um, that's why I think it's cool. Like to be willing. Dude, I have no pride anymore. Like I do. I actually do. I still have a lot of pride. Um, an ego, but it's only mostly against myself, and because like I said, this battle is super hard. To battle yourself, it's very hard. Um, but once you can understand that, like, wait a minute, I'm not the smartest dude in the room. I'm not the strongest dude in the room. And I used to tell my little brother this all the time. I was like, dude, no matter where you go, there's always someone who can knock you out. Like, always. This is why I think fighting is stupid. Because no matter what, like, you never know. You walk up on somebody, like, it could be a little midget, dude. Like a little, I don't know, a person smaller than me. Because I'm small. Dude, he knock you out so quick you don't even know what happened. Like, you just never know. He could look like he's 100 pounds and he'll drop you. And that's why I think fighting is stupid. Because it really solves nothing and only someone gets hurt. It makes zero sense to me. Even though I like it. But it does make zero sense. But it's fun, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. I am kind of double-sided with that. Like, the physical part of it, like, is fine. I don't know. It's not fine. None of it's fine. It's not good. There's no point in doing it ever. But I think the anger and the rage that comes with it, I always like that feeling. That's why I don't do drugs, like certain drugs and stuff like that. Like, even though they're enticing, Um, and who knows, I may do some shrooms in the future or something like that. Or I always wanted to go dancing on some Molly or something, but because I love dancing. But it's like I don't know if I want to dip my toe into that. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm not strong enough to like not do that every weekend or something. You know what I'm saying? Don't let it rule my life. Then I don't know if I want to play with that. Who knows? To each his own. You know, and I also don't want to. A lot of what I'm doing, like I said, I'm programming myself with myself, and I'm understanding that what I open my eyes, my ears, and my life to, and my subconscious to, like, I cannot get mad when those things pop up in my life and help me um, choose decisions. And I can't be mad. I got to pull out a water bottle. But yeah, um, yeah. So I just don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to do something I can't come back from. You know, I just got to be smarter than that. Because, like I said, a lot of times it's like the answer to a question is, for me, is 10 minutes of excitement, fun, and unknown repercussions worth eternity. And you can look at eternity in any way you want. Like, I'm just saying, I don't want the repercussions to affect me for eternity. In any way you want that to be. Whether I do something that gives me a scar for eternity. Man, that wind's kicking. Yeah, that wind's kicking though. The birds out here fighting some robins. Playing grab ass. But yeah, so I'm just trying to make sure I'm not doing anything. And these, dude, I love these talks, man. These talks are the greatest thing I've ever done for myself. They're free, literally. And I'm freely giving myself time. Like I'm truly spending time with myself and loving myself. It's fire. So fire. This wind is kicking, like I can see all around me, like it's beautiful, man. The trees are swaying. Birds are playing. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Half the sun is like bright, and then it's not even that dark. It's just wind. It'll be alright. I'll be safe in my truck. The truck's over 6,000 pounds, probably about 7,000, 8,000 pounds. I don't care. Whatever happens, happens. The only thing that sucks is when I gotta run to the house. It's far away, and then I get wet. But who cares? But who cares? It's a perfect day. But yeah, man, I had good talks today. And I was hoping to have some more talks with people today. But I got enough already. I had perfect talks. Went and ate lunch with somebody today. It was cool. It was awesome. Man, that wind though was kicking, bro. That's awesome. Birds are just like flying and not moving. They're not going anywhere. The wind's blowing so hard. They're battling the wind. It's fire. It's crazy. They're just trying to eat all the bugs that come up from the top of the grass. It's so cool. But I don't know. I did an ab workout today, dude. And my legs are so weak. I really gotta like spend time with them because my hips are pretty bad. My hips were weak, and I had a hip problem a couple years ago, and I would fall. Like my hip would just give out, and I would fall. And I talked about this earlier, and then like I said, then I just started flexing my hip every night because I had so much energy. So I'd flex my left hip, my left gluteus maximus, and it built it up, and then my hip doesn't hurt. But when I don't fall anymore, like I would be picking up tile, like a big box of tile, and like my hip would just give, or I would step out of my truck and just like hit the ground. Plus I was like 220, which makes zero sense now because I'm like 190, and but I've gained like 10 pounds in the last week and a half, so but it was muscle and water. But yeah, so doing the ab workout, it was I really had to cheat at the end. Not really cheat, I just couldn't do it because my hips were hurting, and they just gotta get, not my hips, yeah, well, kind of, but like my thighs and hips, like, so I gotta get those muscles stronger so I can do the full ab workout. My abs were okay, and they were burning like mother, but my legs were just so burning so bad. They were just rough. So I'm trying to be like as smart as possible and not just destroy myself. But I don't know, these saunas are weird, man. I guess what they use is like red light therapy, which helps with recovery, and then I guess the sweating, and I don't know, bro, but I don't get near as sore. I just eat my protein, and like it's not that bad. Like I did a butt one the other day. What's funny is like a lot of these things, like one of the videos, she's like, "Come on, girls." I'm like, whatever, bro. It's funny. I did see another guy in there today. I don't care. It's funny. My legs are weak. Girls got some big old legs, man. I ain't got no shame in my game. They're stronger than I am. I'm okay with it. But my upper body is actually really strong. But my legs are just, I neglected them. I gotta get them puppies working better, stronger. But whatever. It's cool, man. I really like this place, man. I'm seeing major results in such a little bit of time. But a lot of it has to do with shocking your body, and that's why I train the way I train. Like I've always trained this way. I always just shock my body and then rest, grow, and then shock it again, rest and grow. It helps me not plateau until I quit, and I'm not gonna quit this. Because it's just too cool. I feel too good, and I just feel good when I get done. And you have cool interactions with people there, and everyone's so nice. Like it's just, like it's cool. It's different. It's a different gym atmosphere because it's so small, and it's cool because like no one really judges you there. Like everywhere I go, well, I think used to maybe I just projected judging people, so then I would just assume other people judge me in return. And now that I don't have any judgment towards people, dude, it really makes everything so easy and free. Like, it really does. I mean, that's it. And since I'm not judging, I'm not projecting the judging back. And I'm not feeling what, because it's ultimately your perspective. Like, if you're judging people, then you're assuming that people are judging you. And they may not. Or they may, who knows? But if you don't care, like, yeah, if you don't mind, it don't matter. Does that saying make sense now? Because used to that we would say it in football, like if you don't mind, it don't matter, like so it don't hurt, so you can go forever. But this is even more real. Like if you don't mind what other people are saying, it literally doesn't matter, literally. Like, it can't affect you. It has no power over you. You just keep doing what you're doing with whatever set of morals or whatever guidelines that you create. I just hope they're good and you're not just being a punk to people, or I'm not being a punk to people. But yeah, it really makes sense now. But it's cool, man. And that's how my life is. I guess that's why people talk to me all the time now. It's like I'm not guarded. And I guess there's just something. I'm approachable as a human being. And I don't understand that part. I really don't. Um, but who knows? Maybe they see something I don't see, which is probably true. Because I don't see myself. I feel myself. I feel me getting stronger. Stronger mind, stronger body, stronger purpose. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Man, I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. Because if I go paint, like I'm going to be done in like 20 minutes. Not really. This is a big canvas. Maybe I can paint some smaller ones. But yeah, so I did go to the art studio. We talked, and she gave me some insight. The woman did about some stuff, and there was one painting there that has it has like a ragdoll woman, like an old like a corn potato sack doll, right? Like with the same material and with a bunch of like different patches on it, and it's holding a baby, and then the baby's looking back and facing a shadow. Um, and she was just saying that her perspective when she saw it was based on how babies have or young kids have that toy that ultimately is their safety and security, right? And self-soothes them and stuff like that. And I was like, that's cool. And then the artist talks about it being a mother, and how she's soothing the baby and protecting the baby ultimately, and she has all these scars on her, and the way I see it, and what I told her is, well, I had to be my safety and security my whole life. I was the only one who was my safety and security and self-soothe, for the most part. I think my mom did some, but then as I got older, like that was gone, and I think even to an extent, like I never completely, she never was completely like I never, even though I surrendered everything to her, I still never probably trusted her, or even when I was a baby. Like I know she was my safety and security, but I think I still self-soothed myself, and still was my own real safety and security, and I know this for a fact. I know this 100% fact. And just because like I had an imprint of somebody else, the smell and chemical bonds with somebody else, and so it was almost like my mother would have been a counterfeit my whole life, a counterfeit from the real. And it's not good or bad, and it's not nothing on my mother, but it was a counterfeit. It wasn't the real thing. And that's a sucky way to look at it. But now, right here in this moment, it makes sense to me. And the only way to break that counterfeit would be, from my perspective, to choose that it wasn't a counterfeit, that she was the real thing. And she was. But it's too late now. The damage was done, and the perspective was formed a long time ago. And now I can choose from this point forward to do that. But for story's sake and for my mind's sake, it has to be that way. And that's the way I'm going to deem to look at it. Whatever. So the painting for me, I'm looking at the shadow. And I find safety and security in the shadow. I don't find safety and security in the mom holding the baby. Or in my sake, it would be me, the baby. I find safety and security in the darkness. In the shadow. and what that shadow makes me feel. Because I could never trust myself, but I can trust a silhouette. Because a silhouette is I can make any story to make it work for me. Because I can see the outline. The outline is the outside of the story. And then inside is pitch black. It's darkness, the shadow. But I control what I see in that darkness. Because I produce it in my head. And whatever I needed to survive, I made it in that shadow. And that was my safety and security. So I always looked to the shadow. Because the shadow wasn't real. The shadow wasn't my mom. It wasn't even me. It was just, I knew something was behind me or holding me or whatever, but the shadow to me is like, I can make this world whatever I want it to be. Whatever I have to do to make me feel okay about it. And there's no right or wrong in the shadow. It just is. And then I dealt with the repercussions. And that's kind of what I told her I thought it was. Because I was my own security and safety. And it was my brain that did it. My brain was my safety and security. Whatever I created to make me okay in the moment. Because I thought that was more real than fake people. And it's so weird that I got it inverted. Because most people is like, what's real is what you see. And I was like, well, and then that's how I look at people now. It's like the outside appearance is not what I look at. I mean, it is some of it, but it's not. There's so much more. It's the shadow. That's what I want to see. Like, even when I started art, dude, I was infatuated with shadows. And until this moment, I didn't understand why. But it's like, it's because, to me, the shadow is actually real. The shadow cannot lie. And whatever's in that shadow, like, I can see it. You can't see it. I can see it. And so the silhouette, that's who you are, really. And when light's shining on you, it's projecting the shadow on the wall behind. Like, that's the real stuff. It's what it's projecting through. It's bringing it to the darkness, but I can see it. Maybe I can't see it, but I can feel it. I can understand it. I don't know. Because I was born in the dark. And to me, that's more real. Because there's no lie in the shadow. The shadow is just a shadow. Like, it just is. It's not a lie. It's not dressed up. It's not bought. It's not fake smiling. It's just a shadow. It's the totality of everything. It's the shadow. So I look to the shadow for answers. And it's double-sided. So it's only double-sided because you have to have both. You have to have the light shining to project the shadow. So you have to use the yin and the yang to see it all. It's a combination. It's both. Light and dark. And that's what's real. Is both. Light and dark together. It's weird. I have to listen to this again. But yeah, that's why I see it. Like, and that's why, like my art, like when I put light to it, it changes the whole thing. It can look one way. It looks one way, but then when you add light, it creates a new thing. It shows you what it really is. It's fire. It's crazy. It's the totality of this system. And what's the issue is this world is like you have people only taught one side. And maybe in order to be your best self, you have to know both. Because there's going to be better things in the dark, or skills and stuff you need in the dark to understand the skills in the light and how to use them the best, and vice versa. And it's the yin and the yang. You got to know both. But it's light and dark. I'm not talking about. It doesn't mean you have to do all evil things, or what you would deem evil. I don't know. Infringing someone's free will is what I call evil. But yeah, I don't know. And these clouds are moving fast. Moving fast. Oh, but then I talked. Yeah, then I got a haircut, and I talked to this girl, and she was giving me some perspective. She was talking about a real pretty girl that always gets asked out all the time. And I'm like, it's kind of weird. Like, I needed to hear this perspective. And she was telling me about her and how she's just a nice girl and all this stuff. And she told me a story about this guy who came up to her and he cut her hair or something like that. And then he threw his pitch out there, and she said no. And she was just telling me all of it, and I was like, well, I mean, the guy gave his try. But then it clicked in my head. It's like, what up, honking at me? What up, girl? It's kind of got to be difficult for a girl, like, because like if I friend zone everyone, then like for a pretty girl always get asked out, like that's got to be rough. Like they're just trying to be nice and not hurt people's feelings, and it's got to be difficult for them. It's got to be tiring at least. I don't know. I don't know what I was going with that. I should think about it more. And these birds are all over my truck. Don't poop on my truck, bruh. Don't do it. But yeah, it's weird. I don't know. It's whatever. Who knows? I guess it's gotta be difficult to be a female in general. Because we're savage, bro. Not all of us, but I definitely see it. It's weird. Men are so disrespectful to women. But then again, like, what's the fine line? Like, I get it. I don't want to be disrespectful, but at the same time, I may be doing stuff that is disrespectful. I don't even know it. I hope not. I probably have. That sucks. I don't know. I mean, it sucks. I'm embarrassed, I guess. But whatever. I don't know. Let's see what else we talked about today. Talked about businesses. um, kind of talked about what I need to do, and then I do need to be able to provide um, for a husband, for a wife and kids. Um, and that's not a problem. That really isn't. It's pretty easy, but I just have to shift my time. But whatever. Endless possibilities. People are so fire. Yeah, me and girl just talked kind of about business and her business, and I was just saying some ideas and stuff to maybe try and help, um, from my perspective, like what I could think of, like how and all this stuff. But she's cool. She's a strong woman. And then when I ended up talking, I talked to my barber about like dating, um, like the age differential. Like, so if I'm an older man. Like I even told her, I was like, well, I mean, it sucks because like all these people that I tend to meet now, they're young, in the low 20s, and I'm obviously 36 years old. You know, I was like, I'd hate to get with a girl and marry her and not let her have a chance to find herself. You know what I'm saying? Like it took me till I was 36 to find myself. So hopefully, like, even though maybe I'm hoping that maybe it doesn't really matter the age, but whoever I do end up with, we're kind of on the same journey together. We'll both actually know who we are. Who cares about the age difference? And then we can continue to grow together. And if she has kids, she has kids. If she doesn't, she doesn't. Like I can handle either one. Either way, it'll be fun. Fun adventure, fun whatever. But who knows? Dude, I'm so hungry again. Well, I don't know. I did eat like 5 hours ago. It's too long. I need to eat. I need a protein shake. Hungry. Super hungry. Um, what's up, birds? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else. I'm just excited and trying to think what else we talked about. Wasn't many talks today. But it's cool, man. I don't know. I'm excited. Every day I'm just super excited because I don't even like even if at a certain time now, like I don't know what the rest of the night it has. Like who knows? Maybe I'll be by myself the rest of the night. Who knows? I do know I need to get food. I need to eat. I don't know. I may go work out again. Maybe not. I did abs one, and then I did arms, and I murdered them. So they're probably gonna hurt tomorrow. Failure is not a choice. So you gotta work out the failure. It's not, whatever. We'll see. But I'm hungry. The art was cool. Cause I went there today because I had to pick up a check, and then I didn't really look at the exhibit um, last week because I was building it, and I'm not building that exhibit, but building whatever for the party and they were having and stuff. The get whatever. So I looked at it today, and then I looked at it. I'm like, dude, this stuff is weird, man. Like, there's no breath, like strokes in it. The styles are different in each painting. Like, it's not the same human being that's making this art. Like, on, and I went to the talk Sunday with the artist, and he said something about he was the biggest something like a con artist or something. But he was just getting attention. But what he does is he does the ideas, and he doesn't ultimately paint all his stuff. And I was like, what? I was like, the woman told me today, yeah, he doesn't ultimately paint all his stuff. And he said, a lot of artists don't do that. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing. I just have to give the ideas, and then other artists can paint it, and then I sign my name on it. Like, I can maybe draw out what I want, and then they paint it, and I don't have to do that. That's weird to me. It makes zero sense. But now it makes all the sense. It's like, I know I don't have enough time to make all this art. But ultimately in my head, like when I started art, that's what I wanted to do anyway. I wanted to collab with people on everything. That turkey's flying, bruh. And yeah, so it's crazy because then she was like, well, Michelangelo did the 16th Chapel. Like, he drew the art on the ground on paper, and then they put it up there and they did it. And he didn't really do it. It was his apprentices that did it. I was like, what? I was like, now it makes sense. I was like, so now all I need to do is just create armies. I just need to create armies and then take care of my armies. And then together we grow. And if I just have to be the front man, I just have to be the front man. If I got to be the vulnerable one, so I can take care of my family, then that's it. Because I can't do it alone. I can't make it that big of an impact alone. I have to have an army of people with me. Like-minded people. So that's what I'm doing. And I told a kid yesterday, I was like, man, it's been funny. One day I'm going to walk in here, I'm going to say, let's go, bro. What do you want to do? And I got your back. You do music, I'm ready. Whatever you need, let's do this. You're going to be the best, whatever. Like, I got your back, man. Whatever needs to happen, happen. I want to see you soar. And, because I was like, dude, if I'm eating steak, I want you to eat steak too, bro. And we all going to eat steak together, bro. We're all going to win together. We're all going to change the world together. We're all going to make a difference together. And be cool, man. And then you never be alone, too. And that's kind of what I see the future being. It's just groups of people. And that's probably how it is now. It's like government. It's like, yeah, we got one front man, but it takes all these branches to run it. And it's what I want. I want to build little empires. And of all things. Take everybody's skill. We all work together. We all rich, make money together. We're all comfortable together. We all raise our kids together. Like, we all protect each other. Like, easy. It'd be cool. But I gotta get food, man. My stomach is going crazy, and I can't wait. I gotta make a decision. I gotta make a decision. I'm getting hungry. Getting hangry. And tired. Sleeping. But I don't know. We'll see. I'll be back some point later. Holla. Love y'all. Peace.